Some of us just want to die alone in peace without that being interrupted, and we should have that right. But unfortunately, it feels like we may live in an area or a country that doesn't want to make that possible. I'm going to ramble for a minute about something that's been on my mind, and I believe I'm supposed to share. I am divorced and staying that way. I have no desire to ever touch another human being. I should have that right. I should be able to say no without someone analyzing it, wondering why I'm like that, trying to talk me into it. There's someone out there for you, or trying to sneakily set me up on blind dates, which is what usually happens. That has happened to me so many times, and I feel like I must be manifesting in with my fear. It's been a few years, but that's why I don't really make friends anymore, because it's always, are you single? Are you seeing anyone? And if you say no to that question, it begs more questions. And given certain laws that are going into effect, I really feel like we have collectively, through fear, because the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. I feel like they're using social media and some of these laws to make us fear that stuff like the Handmaid's Tale is going to come true. Whenever I bring this up, there's always somebody who tells me I'm delusional, or not just me. Like when we bring up the subject how we don't want attention from men, there's always someone out there who wants to say that we're delusional. We should be grateful for any attention we get, right? Is that what you're trying to say? Like I used to have a channel where I would talk about stuff like this, and I mentioned how some guys I used to work with had really, really made my life difficult. In fact, I had to leave that job. I mean, I left for a better paying job, but I would not have quit that job. I would have stayed there if it hadn't been for the drama that was caused just by me talking to some guys on my way to the restroom. They worked in the warehouse. And that company encouraged us to do that. Okay, it's a long story. They encouraged us to mingle, like to be friendly and not be separate like warehouse and office people. They didn't want that. I think that's why they even had the restroom there in the warehouse so we would walk through there. Well, I didn't know that I had caused drama just by talking to this guy. I belonged to him. It's a long story. I'm not going to get into it. But when I shared about it online, somebody tells me I'm delusional. How dare they tell me I'm delusional when that caused me so many problems at that job? The reason they say I'm delusional is because what that person's saying to me, just like the other day. Let me give you another example. I saw a video the other day where this woman says she was offended that a guy sent her a good morning text message, which I'll be honest with you, I'm totally on her side. I completely got it. I was like, nope, I wouldn't want one either, but she was actually actively trying to date somebody. I'm not. I will fight for my right to die alone. Some of us don't have those physical urges. We don't like affection. We don't like touch. In fact, what really brought me to this, here's a magnet I just got. In fact, I got two because I liked it so much. They were the last two in the store. It says, not a hugger, with a picture of a cactus. That's me. Do not hug me. Do not touch me. I don't want anything to do with a man, woman, anything, child, nobody. I can handle dogs and cats. Maybe other animals. Haven't really tried. But I do not need human contact. In fact, the more I go without it, the longer I go without it, people think if you isolate, you will get lonely. I'll be honest with you. I've isolated for a long time. And the more I've isolated, the less I want to be around people. The more grateful I am that I'm alone. Anyway, back to this woman who said that she was offended by a good morning text message. Of course, guess what the comments said? The comments all said she was delusional, that she should be grateful for the attention she gets, that blah, blah, blah. Basically it always comes down to you should be grateful to get any attention. That's what, the delusional comment that somebody left for me was. It was like, oh, you're delusional. Let me tell you a really sad story. I was in college. I was in a horrible relationship that I wanted out of, but I didn't know how to get out of it. It was just extremely abusive. The man coerced me into it. It was a long story. Well, I remember one time I was walking down the street and he was so possessive. He didn't even want me going anywhere. Like he was yelling at me to get back in the car. He followed me somewhere. All I was trying to do was go and have dinner with a friend. He didn't even want me doing that. Guess what? While I'm doing that, I got a bunch of frat guys driving by because it was a college town. Like a big high school. It was just terrible. But these frat boys or whoever, a carload of guys drive by and yelled moo at me because I was fat. They mooed at me. See, that's exactly what I'm talking about. It's those boys who yelled mean things at me, and here I am at the same time. I've got this guy who's so obsessed with me, won't even let me out of his sight. That's the world we live in. That's what it's like to share a story about how you were harassed at work by guys in a warehouse and have somebody else come along and say you're delusional. Why am I delusional? It boils down to this. It's like that whole thing where you think we're supposed to be grateful for any attention we get. What if we don't want any attention at all? What if we want to be treated like a eunuch? Look up nullification surgery. I've been looking it up. Of course, that's not going to stop people. There are still other orifices. That means openings. But what I'm trying to say is we should have the right to say no. It feels like, because if you watch The Handmaid's Tale, and I hate to even bring that up because it's just going to put visuals in people's head, but we speak this out of existence. I just keep feeling like it's time to leave this country. There's a lot of things I've noticed lately. The algorithms change, and it's... anyway, there's stuff I can't even talk about. The way I manifest is through scripted or imagination. I just keep manifesting that I have my passport and I'm getting on a plane and I'm leaving to someplace where I'm happy, where nobody's trying to force me into a relationship. Because what you don't understand is this. When you come along behind us and say, oh, you're delusional, you should just be grateful for any attention you get. Have you watched The Handmaid's Tale? The women are split up into 4 groups. You had the handmaids. They wore red. The aunts, they took care of the handmaids. Oh, they were really bad. They were like usually older. Well, I should say it was five categories, wasn't it? The aunts, like Aunt Lydia, one of my favorite actresses in the entire world, by the way. I love her. I've been watching her for years. She was on Freaks and Geeks. I love her. So you had the aunts, you had the housekeeper ones, like what they wore like white, I think. Maybe they were aunts too, I don't know. But then you had the green women who are married to the commanders, and you also had the Jezebels. What I hear when someone says, oh, you should just be grateful for any attention you get, even when I said I don't want any attention, I hear that you're just trying to put me in one of those categories. Maybe I'm not pretty enough to be a Jezebel, but you're going to make me an aunt, or you're going to make me a housekeeper, right? How about I just don't want to be in that scenario at all, and I want to live someplace where that's not occurring, where I can just be alone and be weird with my dogs and cats and be left alone. Like these men who say, oh, I hope you have fun with your cats. I sure will, because I won't be with you. Because I will be alone and happy without anyone bothering me. And I don't want anyone analyzing it. If you want to analyze it behind my back where I can't hear it. But keep it away from me. Any of this crap where you send men to try to talk to me, you think it's cute. You know why? These men have approached me like that because they think I'm attainable. Just pretty enough and just flawed enough that they think they have a chance. They don't. And I don't want to be considered anymore. Some of us just want to be not considered. We want to be ignored, and we should have that right. But it feels like it's being taken. It doesn't matter if you're past childbearing years. It doesn't matter how old you are or what you look like. There will always be some place for us. It doesn't matter what you look like. I'm just saying, pretend I'm a cactus and leave me alone. People don't believe me. Anytime I've shared this, like I've shared it, especially with my face attached, I'll have women come along and say, oh, BS. And oh my gosh, you are part of the problem. You are part of the problem. You're the ones who make us feel unsafe by projecting your stuff onto us. You're the kind of woman who, because you still want a man and you just don't believe a woman wouldn't want somebody. You're out there probably giving my phone number out, but you're out there telling people, oh, well, she wants somebody, because you just assume that. You're putting other women in danger. No means no. I hate it when people compliment my looks. I don't know what to do with that compliment. It doesn't mean anything to me. Time is the most precious asset we have. And you might think, oh, you could just say no. Nancy Reagan lied. People want to waste your time. You can't just say no. That's how bad it is. If you say anything at all, even me putting this video out. But I'm going to take that chance anyway, because I filmed these today at the store and I felt like it was a sign that I'm supposed to make this video after months of thinking about it. A few days ago, this guy did a video. It had to do with the people who were getting their passports and leaving the country. I don't even want to get into it. I'm not going to give out this creator's name. I don't even remember what it was. He looks like he's on the spectrum. I would know, because I'm also on the spectrum. The way he talked, his mannerisms, and anyway, I left a comment. I said, this has got to be satire. Immediately he responds and said, you're just mad because we're not picking you. And I'm like, who said I was mad? And I just responded and said, look, and I blocked him after this. He liked my comment and didn't say anything, but I blocked him. I said, no one is mad about this. No one cares if you're leaving. We live in a country where some of us are living in complete terror that we're going to have to take care of one of you albatrosses. Dead weight. Like, we feel like when people say, oh, you'll find someone. I'm going to be honest. I have complex PTSD. And I have a moment of panic. Like, even talking about it right now, there's a pain in my chest. And I'm not joking. I went through phases where I had uncontrolled vomiting from PTSD. Yeah. Just leave me alone about it. I don't need someone analyzing my trauma. Well, that's why you're like this. Really? I mean, I feel like it's a cycle. And it doesn't matter what I'm like this. What matters is leave me alone. What matters is I said no. That's what matters. Anyway, that's how I feel about it. When somebody says to me, oh, you just haven't found the right person, or tries to analyze why I don't want anybody, I'm telling you, I will be celibate the rest of my life. I don't have those urges. I don't care about it. And it makes me mad when people try to make me think about it. I didn't intentionally decenter men. It's like an allergy. It's like suddenly I'm allergic to shellfish and you're trying to tell me I need to eat shellfish, but I'm deathly allergic. You'll find someone, you just haven't found the right person. It feels like there's a man standing right outside my door waiting for me to take care of him. It feels like you're trying to lead me down the road to misery. And all I want is to be left alone, to create, to do what I want to do with my time. I want my freedom. I don't want to take care of anyone, and I have earned that right. Some of us, we just want to be not considered. We have no fear. No fear. We just want you to stop. We just want to wear makeup in public without anybody thinking it's an opening. And you know, I've said this before. The reason some of us get more attention than others is because we are attainable. They think we're attainable. They think, well, you're not as pretty as that girl. You'll do. And then when we reject you, you get even more angry about it because we're supposed to be a sure thing, because we're delusional. We're supposed to be just happy for any attention we get when we don't want any attention at all. Just leave us alone about it. And I do feel like it's very specific to the United States, like I said, to have that passport of my own and to move. But it won't be for the same reason that these men are doing it. They're going to find somebody and possibly bring them back to the United States. I'm going to be left alone where nobody is going to try to get me to do their laundry. No man is going to expect me to be his personal therapist and listen to his problems, because I have had enough of that. I don't want another human being touching me. Ever. Ever. I'm not a hugger. I'm a cactus. Respect it. I said no! Whew! Thank you for letting me share. You are successful. It is spoken, it is written, and so it is. Amen. I said no!